I'm Christine Giordano with Markets Group. I'm here at the California Institutional Forum for Southern California. I'm here with Elmer Huh. He is with the Murdock Charitable Trust. Elmer, what were some of your key takeaways so far today?
Thanks, Christine. So it's been a great morning so far, and some of the key takeaways is that we're all dealing with some form of the descriptors of risk. What we've noticed in terms of the discussions and my interactions with other people right now is the fact that many people are using a strategic asset allocation approach to portfolio management. A lot of folks are highly liquid, 20-25% probably max in terms of what we've heard from the illiquidity exposure versus liquidity. And in that liquidity, you got a preponderance of being allocated to the U.S. or North America versus the rest of the world, while acknowledging that there's a need to move over to overseas, particularly in Europe, pan-Europe. And I think there's a fair amount you can deduce from that in terms of a fourth kind of a theme of there's a lot more agility and nimbleness that a lot of our folks here can have given that liquidity, but they may not be acting on it right away because of the uncertainty that we face. And that goes to a broader thing, going back to what I was saying before about the risks. I was saying earlier that we have our known risks, we have our known processes, and then we have these unknown unknowns owed to a former politician that we have to embrace in terms of portfolio management. And so we can have rigid, very disciplined processes according to one person that would help us uncover risks as they become more apparent in our process, analysis, and those unknowns become knowns. That doesn't change the fact that we have to manage those risks. So, it's a lot more of a total portfolio approach framework that I have, thinking through this in terms of these trends, which is a different variation of portfolio management relative to the historical strategic asset allocation approach. But at the end, we're all contending with risk and how we manage the exposures to those risks and how we uncover those and then mitigate them over time.
Makes a lot of sense. So it, of course, begs the question, are there any new risks that are kind of forming on your radar?
Well, I think in general, we tend to think about, we're constantly thinking about liquidity, illiquidity. There's the next level or third order effect of what bigger players do in the markets. It's like certain endowments going out and taking on sales of private equity in the secondaries segment, right? Well, if you want to be a player in the secondary market in terms of selling, you may have to wait because the adverse effect is that large chunks of those portfolios may go at a discount, and that may not be advantageous for you, particularly for us. We're not looking to sell, but if we're a foundation that wants to sell and we have uncertainty and high volatility in the equity markets, you could be looking to do a transaction or be in the middle of a transaction where the markets are down, you take a discount, so that's a double whammy for us. And in an absolute return basis, our nonprofit partners, who are the ones that receive the benefits of our stewarding of the portfolio, are the ones that are going to get the hit. Just like if you're a pension plan, you can't afford to take a down market. It doesn't matter what your benchmarks are at that point. If the markets are down 5%, but you're down 10%, and then you take a sale and take another write down, that's a bigger effect, a clawback that you have to achieve over the next year to 2 years.
So does that mean that you kind of rush to market now with your private equity?
No, I think it goes back to what we're hearing a lot of people say. It's basically a lot of folks, even before this conference, we're all trying to deal with the uncertainty around the administration's geopolitical policies, the Fed and monetary policies, all these things combined, and how we interact with other nations. These have ripple effects in different ways that people are all saying basically, let's wait and hold. Stay the course on what you were originally planning, but be prepared to pivot when you need to. And we're taking that advice as well. We look at it and say, hey, we have a plan for 2025, which is our tactical plan, which won't deviate but should serve to support our long-term horizon of investing. But we need to be able to have that margin to say, hey, we need to pivot because this didn't turn out the way we thought it would with this country or whatever, and now we're feeling the effects of it in the equity markets or in the fixed income markets or both.
Fascinating times.
Yeah, fascinating times.
Thank you, Elmer.
Thank you.